Hey guys, welcome back. So last time we started this text box and you can see that now it's looking very similar to how Google looks. If I just go and open up Google for you to see, you can see that Google looks fairly similar to what we have now. Obviously they have a bit more features which we're not doing yet, but we have the basics right here. Google, the text box, and then the button itself. So it's looking pretty good, I think. So what we're going to do now is change our image. So we don't want to use Google, of course, because you're probably not going to call your site that. So what we're going to do is use our own one. And you can use any image you want. Maybe you have your own logo or something. You can use that. You can create your own. But what I'm going to do is just make my own little take on this Google logo. And if I go to Google and type in Google Logo Maker, and then go to this this link right here, Festi site, I think it's called. Yeah, click on that. And it's a pretty cool little website I found that lets you create your own logos with your own text. So you can choose any of these logos and you know, make it yourself. But I'm going to use Google, and what I can do is type in my text right here. I can say Reese is awesome, and then you see it kind of makes your text in the style of Google logo. But I'm not going to do that, of course. I'm going to say Doodle. So this is my website, and you can see it kind of looks similar to the Google logo. So once you're happy with it, you can just click download, and you can actually take that image itself, and you can see now if I open that up, it's right here. This is our logo. So we're going to put this logo onto the website, but you can see there's some space underneath the image. So I'm just going to crop the extra space from the image. You don't have to do that, but that's what I'm going to do. So now my image only contains this space. There's no space underneath it or anything. Okay. So yeah, this is a little image I'm using. All right, this would be my logo, but feel free to use whatever you want. But if you want to use this one specifically, and you don't want to create it from here, this will be included in the course contents, of course. So just download the file attached to this lecture, and you have access to this image. So if you want to use this exact one, that's fine. So what we're going to do now is just take the image that we just downloaded and put it in the images folder. So it's in the downloads folder right now. That's where I saved it to. So go to downloads, find our logo, which is right here. I'm going to rename it to Doodle Logo, like that. And then lastly, I'm going to copy it and then just paste it in my images folder. So paste item right there. So that now our logo is inside of our assets/images folder. So the very last thing to do before we can see it is go back to index.php, and remember we put this Google URL to their logo into our image. We're going to get rid of that and then just put assets/images/doodle logo.png, because this is the path to our image. Save that, and if I refresh the page, we should see that logo right now, and we do. And you can see it's quite large, and that's why I said we have a very small amount of CSS to do. So really not much at all. Just go to underneath here and just say .main section and then space .logo, logo container, like that, because the logo container element is right here, and it's underneath the main section div too. And in there we're going to put our code, and it's only 2 lines, but what I'm going to do, the very last thing is just to say logo container space img, and what this is doing, it's saying the img, the image tag underneath the logo container div. So I'm saving that, and the reason I've done both of them is just so we can see them both without having to come back and create the other one. We're just doing both at the same time. So if I go and find this element now, instead of searching through, if you right click on it and click inspect on that item, it will go right to it for you, so it's gone right to the image. But anyway, go and find your logo container div, and I've just realized I forgot to refresh the page, so I'm not seeing it here, so I need to refresh that page again. And now you see this empty logo container element right here. So inside there, we're just going to add width. It's going to be 220 pixels, and the last line is just going to be text align center, and it hasn't done anything to the image yet. You can still see it's wrong, but if you hover over the logo container element, you'll see the blue area is kind of where it's going to be. So this is the container around the image, and the very last thing to do is click on this image part, and then you see this blank tag that we just added, and then one line, just say width is going to be 100%, like that. And all we need to do is copy both of them. So instead of doing them one at a time, we can click on this style.css and we can just copy them all. So copy the whole file if you really want, or just copy these last 2 lines and then just paste them in there like that. And I'm going to fix the formatting of this part right here, so you can see, because I've copied it from the browser, it's put in alongside each other like this. So I'm just going to press enter and create the new lines like that. And that's it. Just adding those two bits of style that we added just a second ago. And if I close this down, you'll see that we have a much nicer looking one now. So feel free to play around with these values. If you want it to be slightly larger or slightly smaller, that's fine. But now we have our logo, we have our text box, and we have our search button. And it sends data to the search page. So this index page for now is actually done. There is, of course, loads more things we can do to it, but for now, this is good for us.